and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joni and I am the blogger behind simplelivingmama.com, and in today's video I am actually participating in the Heartfelt Homeschool Mom Tag. This was started by 5 P's in the Rodpod, so I am excited to sort of let you get to know me a little bit more as a homeschool mom through this tag, and I'm going to be looking down over here so I can answer these questions for you. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it, okay? So number 1 is, how long have you been homeschooling? So I first decided that I wanted to start homeschooling when my oldest son was 2, and we started doing some preschool type things, and I was very much into researching, learned a lot about the Charlotte Mason method. That is the very first thing that sort of drew me to homeschooling to begin with, and kind of did my own like Charlotte Mason preschool stuff. It was very gentle, obviously, nothing really involved. My kids are playing and they're being very loud, so excuse that. It's okay. So if I were going to say that, then technically I've been homeschooling for 9 years. But officially homeschooling, we did start when he was in kindergarten, and let's see, he's in 5th grade now, so 6 years. So that is how long we've been homeschooling. How many children are you homeschooling? So I have 6 kids. They range in age from 2 all the way up to 11. So how many children are you homeschooling? I have 6 children. They range in ages from 2 up to 11. So that answers that question. I am homeschooling all of my kids. When did you know you wanted to homeschool? So this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with number 1. I found out that I wanted to homeschool when my oldest was 2. So what was going on at this point in my life? I had a new baby, my 2nd child, and then I had my 2-year-old, and this was at a point where everybody was starting to send their kids to like Mother's Day Out programs and stuff like that when they were just 2. And at first I felt like that was something that I should be doing because everybody else was doing it, but it didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel comfortable sending my 2-year-old away even for that amount of time just so they could be around other people. It didn't feel right to me. So I had looked into all of that, Mother's Day Out programs, preschool programs, and then at some point I found a blog post about homeschooling. I don't even know where this came, how I figured this out. I was really into blogging and reading blog posts about like more natural lifestyles and stuff, and I guess that just kind of segued into homeschooling. So I found out about the Charlotte Mason method of homeschooling, something that was a totally new concept to me. I did not know any homeschoolers. I was not homeschooled. I graduated from public school. My husband was not homeschooled. So this idea of homeschooling was brand new to me and to him and to my entire family. But once I started reading about the Charlotte Mason method, and you will find that we are not Charlotte Mason homeschoolers per se. Her method is very strong in our homeschool, but we do a lot of different things in our homeschool. But anyway, when I started reading about that, and when I realized how much different this way of educating was compared to the education that I received, I was sold, and I was like, I've got to start looking into this a little bit more, and I really think that this is what God is calling me to do with my son and with the rest of my children to come. What was your spouse's reaction? Are they supportive? So he's been very laid back pretty much the entire time we've been married. So when I told him that's what I wanted to do, he was like, okay, well, if that's what you want to do. He had confidence in me. He was definitely supportive of me, and it wasn't an issue at all that I wanted to homeschool. How do you make sure you and your spouse share the same vision for your homeschooling journey? Like I said in number 4, he is very laid back and very supportive of just about anything that I want to do. He has seen over the course of the last 6 years that I am teaching the kids, they are learning, and they're pretty cool people. So he supports me, and you know, as far as our vision for homeschooling, it's not something we really talk about as a couple. It's just, you know, I show him what I'm doing. He's gone to conventions with me, and he helps with some things, especially leading like Bible time and stuff in the evenings. So, you know, we're just on the same page, I guess, with most things in life. We've been together a long time, so that might help. I don't know. Number 6, have you had any mentors help you along the way? So I did not know anyone who had ever homeschooled when I started homeschooling. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have somebody I could go to and ask questions. Homeschooling was just starting to get popular in my area. So, you know, I didn't have an in-person mentor. I read a lot of blogs, and I learned from a lot of homeschool moms that way. Some of the early homeschool blogs that I followed were Amy from Raising Arrows, and then J. Morrell Stewart, of course. I've been following those 2 women for a long time, and you know, I didn't have anybody in person to really go to and talk to. Now, when we started attending co-ops and stuff, I haven't ever really had like a mentor, but of course there have been women who have been homeschooling longer than me that I could just sit down and, you know, have a conversation with about things that I'm struggling with, and they would give me some advice. So as far as having a solid homeschool mentor, no, I don't have one. Just kind of winging it. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received about homeschooling? I think the best piece of advice I've ever received is kids are going to learn at their own pace. You can't shove education down a child's throat. They need to really find a love for learning, and you know, that's going to be key as far as educating your child. What is the best piece of advice you can give to someone just starting out? So it kind of goes back to what I just said. Don't be a slave to any one method. Your kids are your kids, and you need to understand how they learn. So, you know, you can start with one thing, and if it's not working, don't be afraid to change to something else. You know, like I said, I was really interested in the Charlotte Mason method when we started homeschooling, but I found out that me trying to read for the majority of all of our schoolwork wasn't really something that was going to work in our family. So we've definitely deviated from the method. And I also like to have some assessments so I know what I need to work on with my kids and what they're actually retaining. So that's something else that I learned about myself. So don't be afraid to change things up. Homeschool is a journey. You're going to find that things work and things don't work. So if you need to make a change, make a change. Number 9, what is the most difficult aspect of homeschooling? For me, it's definitely having 6 kids, all of different ages, which means different abilities. I have 4 very rambunctious boys who are not very happy to just sit and listen to me read, or you know, they don't like learning that way. So I think definitely just educating all of them at the same time and trying to find the time to work individually with my kids without a ton of distractions from the little kids. That's the most difficult aspect of homeschooling for us right now in this season of life. Number 10, what do you find the most rewarding? Definitely when my kids learn something and there's a light bulb moment. Like when my kids learn how to read, each time I've taught a child to read has just been amazing. And it's like, I did that. You know, I helped this child learn how to read. When I see my kids just doing things that they love, I have a child who loves artwork and she's teaching herself how to draw. And then I have a child who loves working with computers and he's doing YouTube videos for himself and learning all kinds of things, and just really just seeing them pursue their dreams at a young age and not being tied to a public school schedule has been really rewarding for us. Number 11, do you make time for yourself? What do you do to practice self-care? So this is something that has been hard for me to do over the years with so many babies, and then as a military family, we've dealt with deployments and stuff. So now we're kind of in a different season of life because I don't have any little babies anymore and my husband is around more. I am able to take time for myself, and I need to take time for myself. I'm an introvert and I have a very loud household, so I do need moments of quiet. So I try to take time in the evenings after dinner before the kids go to bed just to read, to take a bath, to do, you know, the things that moms don't get to do during the day when their kids are around. Well, my husband has the kids and he does something fun with them, so I'll go in my bedroom and do those things. It's really important. It's been important for my mental health and I know that the times when I can't do those things, I find myself feeling really crabby and out of sorts. So it is important definitely to take some time to care for yourself in some way. And if you have a supportive husband, I would bring him on board and say, look, you know, in order for me to keep doing what I do all day, I need some time to myself to do these other things so that I can keep going without going crazy. Okay, and then the last one for Christian mamas, do you have a Bible verse for your homeschool? And this is something I've never really sat down and tried to pick out a Bible verse. I know I've tried to write mission statements and stuff, but I will say that 2 Timothy 3:16-17 is our main Bible verse from My Father's World, Creation to the Greeks this year. And I think it's really, really good for us because so much of our homeschool is scripture-based. And it says, all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. And I just love that. And I'm going to say that's our Bible verse for this year. So that is that. I've answered all of the questions. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave the questions down in the description box below if you would like to participate as well. I think it would be really cool. I'm also going to link to 5Ps and the Rodpod so you can go check her out. She's another really cool homeschool mama. And I think this is a great way for us all to get to know each other here on YouTube, talking about our homeschool, you know, our homeschool journey and all of that stuff. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.